Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to be talking about a process you guys can use to help deal with any sort of troubling thoughts you might be having. And I'm going to be giving a classic example that a lot of us have probably had, and that is essentially needing somebody to like you in order for you to be happy. So the first thing we want to do in this process is to basically expose any assumptions that we are making that may not be true, right? So a couple of assumptions we are making when talking about this example is we are essentially saying that our emotional state is dependent on what people think of you, and you're also kind of saying you aren't allowed to feel okay with yourself, and you're not really allowing yourself to feel okay no matter what the outcome is, and no matter if they like you or if they're mad at you or what, right? So you're really allowing the other person to kind of control you in a way. And the last point here is you are making some sort of assumption that there's something wrong with you, and this is very likely kind of a self-worth or a self-esteem kind of issue where you're basically trying to get validation from other people, and the only way you can feel good is if they like you, and if they don't like you, well then you assume there's something wrong with you, right? So there's a tendency to self-blame. And the second part that we want to do with this is, now that we've kind of exposed all the assumptions that we have, we can then explore different ways of looking at the situation, right? So a good way to do this is to ask yourself, well, how do you know, right? And a couple ways to do this is to ask, how do you know that they are even right? You know, because in this situation, you're kind of assuming that they're right and they're better and that you're wrong without really thinking critically about it. And how do you know that you can't feel good no matter what, right? And we may have been told that, oh, you know, you should feel bad about that, you should feel, you know, you should feel sorry, or whatever it is. And even if somebody says that, we're not obligated to pay attention to them, right? Now, I don't think we should completely ignore what people say, but again, just because somebody says, oh, you should feel bad, you know, that doesn't mean that you actually have to feel bad, right? You're allowed to use your own analysis, and you're allowed to essentially feel however you want, right? Even if you did do something bad, it doesn't mean you have to feel bad, right? It doesn't mean that you're inconsiderate or that you're a bad person. It just means that I'm not going to allow myself to continue to, you know, feel horrible, because that has, you know, essentially no benefit for me, right? And I think better and I operate the best when I feel good, right? And just two more here is, how do you know this thought or belief is even yours? And that kind of relates to the last point, right? So how do you know that this is even coming from you? And chances are, if it's a very troubling thought and it is something related to self-worth issues, chances are it's simply not your thought. It was a way of you coping with any sort of trauma that you had when you're younger, right? So try to think, you know, real critically about if this is even your thought, or if this is just something that you are conditioned to think. And then the last point is, how do you know that this situation can't be a positive, right? How do you know that, you know, this can't be a positive and an opportunity for growth, right? Because yes, we can look at the situation in terms of, oh no, they don't like me, that's so horrible, I didn't, you know, get the girl or the guy I wanted, right? But that's kind of a negative way of looking at it, right? And we have the ability to choose how to look at the situation, right? So we can look at the situation that way, or we can look at it in a way that is like, hey, you know, not everybody's gonna like me. Doesn't mean there's anything wrong with me. It just means that that person isn't the correct fit for me, right? So, anyways, that is the video, and I hope you guys found this useful. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Also, if you have any video suggestions or things that you want me to go over in terms of psychology or mental health, or maybe there's problems you guys have that I haven't gone over yet, let me know and I'll see if I can make a video about that. So anyways, hope you guys found this useful, and yeah, let me know what you think below, and I'll see you guys next time.